let's look at the differences between informing an audience and persuading an audience when we're presenting to them. So the goals for informing an audience is we're trying to teach them. We're instructing them about a concept. So if we were giving an informative presentation about Excel, we'd be teaching them how to use it. In a persuasive presentation, we are trying to change attitude, belief, or action. That's a lot harder. If we're giving a persuasive presentation on Excel, the same topic, we're trying to convince these people that they need to be using it in their work. When we inform, we're giving. Some kind of skill set or information, we're giving it to the audience. When we're persuading, we're getting something from them. We're getting them to do something that we want them to do. Informing is telling. Simple, straightforward telling. Persuading is selling. It's a lot harder. More things to do when we try and sell people as opposed to plainly tell them. In informative presentations, we have elements of persuasion. We might be informing them and teaching them how to use Excel because we want them to use it. We want them to start implementing it in their work. But our main goal, we always go back to what our objective is. Our main goal is to teach or instruct them, and that's where we're spending most of our time. So that would be an informative presentation. When it comes to persuading, there can also be elements of informing. So if we're trying to convince people that they need to use Excel in their workday, we might have to spend a little bit of time explaining to them the context, what Excel is, some basics on how to use it or resources to get that information. But again, we're going back to our objective, and that's to convince or to persuade them to use it. So let's work through an example to put informing versus persuading in context. Your boss wants you to present to your colleagues about new sustainability initiatives at your workplace. That's a really broad topic, and you have to narrow it down in order to effectively present on it. So if you're taking an informative view of that topic, your objective could sound something like this. I will teach my colleagues how they can sort through their personal trash into recycling and plastics and paper and compost. You can see how there'd be some elements of persuasion in that topic there. You're spending time teaching them about these different composts or these different recycling bins because you'd like them to use it. You want them to buy into the green initiatives. But the majority of the presentation is going to be spent teaching them, instructing them, clarifying uses. So on its face, and it's an informative presentation. If we're going to take the same topic and present on it persuasively, our objective would change. It would sound like this. I will convince my colleagues that they have to use the different recycling receptors like plastics, compost, paper to sort through their personal trash every day. Again, you can see how there's some information involved there. If people have never worked at a green workplace, they might need some information about what those different bins mean and how they would go about doing it. But the majority of the presentation time is going to be spent convincing them, trying to get them to change their attitudes or their beliefs. Persuasion's a lot harder. It's a bigger ask. Getting someone to change something about themselves or take some type of action takes more work. And I've given you some really excellent resources. We have some videos as well as some articles about different ways that you can approach persuasion. Unfortunately, it goes outside the realm of this MOOC to go into them in too much detail, but I do really implore you to read up on the different ways that we can persuade our audiences.